Yo, what's up everyone, it's your boy TechTricks, and if there's one thing that can kill your productivity, it's a slow laptop. You know the feeling, you click something, and then it's just waiting. And look, I get it. Upgrading your hardware can be expensive, but trust me, you don't always need the latest and greatest to get a speed boost. Sometimes it's the little things that can make a world of difference. So, in this video, I'm hooking you up with 5 proven ways to speed up your laptop without spending a dime on new hardware. We're talking about simple tweaks and optimizations that can breathe new life into your system. Make sure you stick around till the end because that last tip, that's a game changer. Alright, first up, let's talk about startup programs. You know how when you boot up your laptop, it takes forever to actually become usable? Yeah, that's often because you have a ton of programs launching in the background, eating up your system resources. Think of it like this. Imagine trying to run a race with a backpack full of rocks. You might eventually get going, but it's going to be a slow start. That's what unnecessary startup programs do to your laptop. Now the good news is, disabling these programs is super easy. On Windows, just hit Ctrl+, Shift+SC to open up Task Manager. Head over to the Startup tab and you'll see a list of all the programs that launch when you turn on your computer. Take a look at the list and ask yourself, do I really need this program to open every single time I start my computer? If the answer is no, just right-click on it and hit Disable. Boom, you just shaved off some precious seconds from your startup time. Now, for my Mac users out there, don't worry, I got you. Apple's got your back with a similarly simple process. Just click on the Apple logo in the top left corner, then go to System Preferences. From there, select Users and Groups, and then click on the Login Items tab. This is where you'll find all the applications that automatically open when you log in. To remove an app from the list, just select it and click the minus sign at the bottom of the window. It's like Marie Kondoing your startup process. Only keep the essentials that spark joy, or in this case, speed. Now you might not notice a huge difference after disabling just 1 or 2 programs, but trust me, every little bit helps. The more unnecessary programs you remove from your startup, the faster your laptop will boot up and feel snappier overall. It's like clearing out all the junk from your car's trunk. It might not make the engine run faster, but it'll definitely feel lighter and more responsive. So, take a few minutes to go through your startup programs and trim the fat. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference it can make. And hey, while you're at it, maybe clean up your actual desktop too. A little organization never hurt anybody. Alright, so we've tackled startup programs. Now let's move on to another common culprit of a sluggish laptop: temporary files and cache. Think of these as the digital equivalent of dust bunnies accumulating under your bed. They might seem harmless at first, but over time they can really clog things up. Basically, your operating system and apps create these temporary files to store data while you're working. The problem is, they often forget to clean up after themselves, leaving behind a trail of digital clutter that can slow your laptop to a crawl. The good news is, getting rid of these digital dust bunnies is as easy as grabbing a duster. On Windows, just hit the Windows key +R to open the Run dialog box. Type in %temp% without the quotes and hit Enter. This will take you to your temporary files folder. Now don't be afraid to go on a deleting spree here. Select all the files and folders in this folder and hit Delete. Your computer might give you a warning about some files being in use, but you can just skip those. Mac users, you're not off the hook either. While macOS does a pretty good job of managing temporary files automatically, there's still some manual cleaning you can do to free up space and potentially speed things up. Open up Finder, then click on Go in the menu bar. From the drop-down menu, select Go to Folder. In the Go to Folder window, type in ~library/caches/ and hit Enter. This will take you to your user account's cache folder. Here, you'll find a bunch of folders with weird names. Don't worry too much about what's inside them. You can safely delete the contents of these folders to free up some space. Just be aware that deleting cache files might make some apps load a little slower the next time you open them, but they'll rebuild their cache over time. Now, depending on how much digital clutter you had accumulated, you might see a significant amount of storage space freed up after clearing your temporary files and cache. I've seen cases where people have reclaimed gigabytes of storage just by doing this. But more importantly, you should notice that your laptop feels a bit snappier and more responsive, especially if you were running low on storage space before. It's like cleaning the dust off a solar panel. It might not magically generate more power, but it'll definitely let the existing power flow more efficiently. And that's what we're going for here, making the most of what you already have. Alright, we've tackled startup programs and cleared out the digital cobwebs, but now it's time for a little spring cleaning, software style. We're going deep into your applications folder and exhuming all the forgotten apps taking up space on your hard drive. You know what I'm talking about, those programs you downloaded ages ago and swore you'd use one day. Yeah, that day has come, but not in the way you might think. Today's the day we say goodbye. We're talking about uninstalling those unused programs that are just digitally squatting on your system, eating up precious storage and potentially slowing things down in the background. Think of it like this. Every app, even if you haven't touched it in months, has the potential to run background processes or take up valuable RAM. It's like having a bunch of apps open in the background even when you've closed them. So, let's reclaim that lost performance and free up some digital real estate. In the next section, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify and uninstall these digital dust bunnies on both Windows and Mac. Now, before we go on an uninstalling spree, we need to be strategic about this. I'm not saying you should delete everything in sight. The key here is to identify programs that are genuinely useless to you. Start by taking a scroll through your applications folder. On Windows, you can do this through the control panel, and on Mac, just head over to your applications folder. Look for apps you haven't used in months or even years. Be on the lookout for common bloatware culprits. These are often pre-installed programs that came bundled with your laptop, stuff you probably didn't ask for and definitely don't need. Think trial versions of antivirus software, those games you never played or utility apps you never really understood. You might be surprised at how many forgotten programs are lurking in the depths of your hard drive. Once you've identified the ones you can live without, it's time to move on to the next step, the uninstall process. Don't worry, it's easier than you think. Alright, it's time to say sayonara to these digital space invaders. The good news is, uninstalling programs is pretty straightforward on both Windows and Mac. On Windows, head over to your control panel, then go to Programs and select Uninstall a Program. You'll see a list of all your installed programs. Simply select the ones you want to remove and click Uninstall. Windows will guide you through the rest. Mac users, it's even easier. Just open your Applications folder, locate the app you want to remove and drag it to the trash. Then, empty your trash, and bam, it's gone. It's like digital Marie Kondoing your laptop. Now, a word of caution. If you're unsure about a program, do a quick Google search before uninstalling it. You want to make sure it's not something essential to your system's operation. But for the most part, if you don't recognize it or haven't used it in ages, it's probably safe to say goodbye. Alright, so we've cleared out the clutter, but what about squeezing out some extra juice from your laptop's engine? That's where power settings come in. Think of it like this. Your laptop can be in chill mode or beast mode. By default, most laptops are set to a more balanced mode, prioritizing battery life over raw performance. But if you're plugged in and need that extra oomph, we can crank things up. Now, I'm not saying to keep it on high performance all the time. That can drain your battery faster than a TikTok scroll session on a hot day. But when you need that extra power, this is where you find it. Let me show you how it's done on both Windows and Mac. On Windows, it's all about finding the power options. You can usually get there through the control panel. Just search for it in the Start menu and you're golden. Once you're in, look for Power Options. It's like the control center for your laptop's energy usage. Inside, you'll see different power plans. The default is usually Balanced, which is a good middle ground. But remember, we're here for speed. So click on Show Additional Plans to reveal the hidden gems, and there it is. High Performance Mode. Selecting this unleashes the full potential of your processor and graphics card. You might notice the fans spinning up a bit more, but hey, that's the sound of your laptop working hard. And trust me, the performance difference can be noticeable, especially in demanding applications or games. Mac users, don't worry. You've got power settings too, just tucked away in a different spot. head over to System Preferences, usually found in the Dock or the Apple menu. Look for the battery icon. That's our destination for fine-tuning performance. Once you're in, you won't see high-performance mode outright. Instead, Mac gives you more granular control. Under the Energy Saver tab, you can adjust settings like turn display off after to a shorter time, or disable automatic graphic switching. These tweaks might seem small, but they can add up, especially if you're doing intensive tasks. Disabling automatic graphics switching, for example, ensures your Mac is always using the dedicated graphics card, leading to smoother performance in graphics-intensive applications. Remember, every bit of optimization helps. Okay, let's talk about those fancy visual effects. You know, the window animations, the fading menus, the smooth scrolling. They look cool, sure, but they can also be a drag on your laptop's performance, especially if you're rocking an older machine. You see, all those animations and effects require processing power. It's like your laptop is putting on a light show while trying to run a marathon. By disabling some of these visual effects, we can free up resources and let your laptop focus on what really matters: speed. Now don't worry, we're not going full retro mode here. We're just making some subtle tweaks to make things snappier without sacrificing the overall look and feel of your operating system. Let's dive into the settings and see what we can do. On Windows, streamlining visual effects is surprisingly easy. Remember those performance options we visited earlier? That's our destination again. The quickest way to get there is by searching for Adjust the appearance and performance of Windows in the Start menu. Once you're in, you'll be greeted with a bunch of checkboxes related to visual effects. You can go through each one individually, but the easiest way is to select Adjust for best performance. This will automatically disable all the unnecessary animations and effects. Don't worry, you can always go back and enable specific effects if you miss them. But trust me, once you experience the snappiness of a visually streamlined Windows, you might not want to go back. It's like taking the handbrake off your laptop's performance. macOS is known for its smooth animations, but even those can be toned down for a performance boost. Head over to System Settings, then click on Accessibility. Here's where things get interesting. We're going to tweak the display settings. Under the Display section, you'll find an option called Reduce Motion. Enabling this will tone down or completely disable many of the animations you see throughout the operating system, like window minimizing and app switching. You can also adjust the scrolling speed to make it feel snappier. It's all about finding that balance between aesthetics and performance. And hey, if you ever miss those smooth animations, you can always come back and re-enable them. So there you have it. 5 simple yet effective ways to breathe new life into your laptop without spending a dime on hardware upgrades. Remember, it's all about optimizing what you already have. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tech fixes. And hey, while you're at it, why not check out my next video on the best free apps to keep your PC fast and secure? See you next time.